Hey everybody, welcome back to BK's Bullets, and today we're going to talk about She-Hulk. Hey everybody, welcome back to BK's Bullets. As always, I'm your host, Brent, and today we're going to talk about why you shouldn't be mad about She-Hulk. So, what is going on, Brent? Why are we talking about She-Hulk? Do you own any She-Hulk comics? No, I don't. But I will tell you, I'm very interested in this Disney Plus series because of the people that are involved with it. Kevin Feige, we like him, right? He does no wrong, apparently. Also, I gotta say, Tatiana Maslany, the woman playing Jennifer Walters in She-Hulk, is a fantastic actress. She won an Emmy for playing, I forget what the character's name, but playing a bunch of characters in the show Orphan Black. So if you have not watched Orphan Black and are not familiar with Tatiana Maslany's work, please go watch that. It is phenomenal. I believe it's on Amazon Prime. But just to start off, there are a bunch of people online mad for no fucking reason about the existence of a She-Hulk show that, oh my gosh, all these female heroes are taking over and everything's going woke or whatever, some bullshit thing you want to quote about. It's not true. So people are mad about that. Maybe they don't know about She-Hulk. Well, She-Hulk has been around for many years, longer than I've been alive, probably 40 years. She was created by John Byrne in the 1970s. All right, so she has a long Marvel history, just as long and just as valid as Batgirl over here, who is another female character based on another hero. And everybody likes Batgirl. We're getting a Batgirl movie on HBO Max next year, featuring Michael Keaton, by the way. So, and starring Leslie Grace from, was it In the Heights? So I'm very excited about that. Now, she's playing Barbara Gordon, just like this one here. No reason to get mad there. It's another ancillary character. She-Hulk, I think she appears in Avengers Disassembled. She's down here on the cover. She's this big green girl. She's getting beaten up by Iron Man here because Wanda forced her to go crazy in Avengers Disassembled. You can check out my review. Yeah, she rips Vision apart. So she's very powerful and very cool. So you shouldn't get mad that She-Hulk is existing in the Marvel Universe in the MCU if you didn't know she existed in the first place. She's been around for a while, and she's a much beloved character from her John Byrne run in the 70s, and then you had Peter David take over in the 90s. Dan Slott's written her more recently, and they've all done different things with the character, her being a lawyer, a superhero lawyer in particular, and representing villains or heroes that get into trouble with the law, and just taking a fun superhero twist on the law. So that's what that show is going to be about. So you shouldn't get upset about She-Hulk. She's been around forever. She's very different than, Jane Foster here being Thor. Even though that you shouldn't be mad about that either. That's coming very soon in Thor: Love and Thunder, right? So was that an example of a female character taking the place of another? Absolutely. I think that is a valid example. But in the overall Thor storyline, it all makes sense and it pays off wonderfully. Jason Aaron wasn't mandated to have this idea. He wrote the idea, he had it take place, and he executed it in a phenomenal way. So to discount something because there's a female hero introduced all of a sudden is just short-sighted. I think having different characters from different nationalities, different backgrounds, different ethnicities, different sexes, different genders, whatever, all it's doing is introducing A, you to other perspectives, but B, most importantly, if you want to see the hobby grow and succeed, we need new blood. You can't always be the older white guys reading comics. We're going to die out. Yeah, we might keep it alive, but is everybody buying comics, or are you just watching the Disney Plus shows and getting mad on the internet? So if you're introducing new characters that are interesting more people, what you're actually doing is getting more people interested in the thing you love. That's not a bad thing. Now you might say selling out if you're a big punk rock guy and you're like, well, Blink-182 was great up until they did Enema of the State and they sold out, and then you had all these female fans. Well, yeah, Sure, Blink-182 blew up with Enema of the State, and there were a bunch of female fans that were interested because of their fantastic video for All the Small Things. But what did it do? It made Blink-182 great, and now we have more Blink-182 albums than you can shake a stick at. And you know what? For those guys, it was the right move. They got really successful. So I think that bringing more people into a hobby or into a scene or whatever, it may dilute it from what you know and what you love initially, but it's not necessarily a bad thing if it's getting it more exposure or keeping it alive longer and that sort of thing. And that's what we need with comics. If we can only sell 100,000 single issues of the best-selling comic a month, we're not really growing the hobby. So you got to find a way to grow it in other ways. Let me also counterpoint with you with this. So other than the don't be an asshole way that I just talked about, there is a lot of stuff going on in the background at Marvel Studios that we're not privy to that you may not know about. So, number one, do you remember the Ang Lee Hulk movie, right? It was made by Universal Studios, who currently have the rights on the East Coast to have a Marvel theme park, basically. So that's why Islands of Adventure in Orlando still has all the Marvel stuff, even though Disney owns Marvel. They signed those rights with Marvel in like the 90s in perpetuity, I believe, or something. Some sort of term where that thing is never going to go away as long as Universal can make money off of it, right? And the more popular Marvel is, the more people are going to want to go to the Marvel Superhero Island on Islands of Adventure. At the same time, Universal owns the movie rights to the Hulk. They own the rights. Marvel cannot make a Hulk movie. The Incredible Hulk, the one with, I was going to say Bruce Banner, Edward Norton, was distributed by Universal. Marvel Studios made it, and they distributed it through Universal. So if you go back and watch that movie, that is why that Universal logo is up front, because Universal has the rights to distribute Marvel Hulk films. So Marvel Disney Studios can't do that. They're not going to do that. Those rights are apparently signed away in perpetuity also, like lifetime, forever, gone, zilch, goodbye. That's why you have things like the Planet Hulk storyline showing up in Thor Ragnarok. Marvel can use the character in their other films as a side character, and they may leverage the Gladiator Hulk for Thor Ragnarok or whatever to try and work that in there because they want to tell Hulk stories. So if they want to tell Hulk stories, let them figure out a way to do it. If they got to do it during a She-Hulk TV show by introducing the Hulk there and having him be She-Hulk's sidekick or mentor or whatever it is, and tell that storyline, fantastic. If you're a Hulk fan, this is what you want. You want Marvel to make Hulk stories, and you don't care where they show up. If you want a Red Hulk storyline, that's probably not going to happen unless it's in a form of a TV show or something like that, right? If you want a World War Hulk storyline, it's probably not going to happen unless it's in some sort of a TV show or a setup for a bigger movie, Avengers, something else, right? So it's not going to be called Hulk, it'll be called something else because of the rights situation. So this is Marvel using their Hulk character as they want to do, because they like using the Hulk. They like, what's his name? The guy playing the Hulk. We like the Hulk. We like the guy playing the Hulk. I like Tatiana Maslany. I'm probably going to like She-Hulk. This is not a bad thing. So stop freaking out when there's a new character introduced that is built off an existing character. What do you think Hawkeye was, right? You had Hawkeye, then you had Cassie, or not, what's her name? Cassie? Kate Bishop, also Hawkeye, came from the Young Avengers, out of a storyline. Nobody freaked out about that. So if you're thinking that every character is getting replaced with a female version or whatever, like this goes back to the 1940s with Batgirl and Supergirl. So if you really want to get mad about something, get mad that they do a bad job at it, if they do a bad job at it. Because these are characters that have gone back since the beginning of comics with Supergirl and Batgirl. And you know what those were? Those were an effort to get female readers into the hobby. So if you want to widen your base, if you want to tell more stories and better stories, you can't just tell the same things over and over again. So getting new characters, new perspectives, new religions, new ethnicities, new storylines. Any way you can do that and bring them in and bring in more interest from more diverse groups is a better way to grow your product. And that's what Marvel and Disney are, is they are business people trying to grow their product. Your girlfriend is not going to be interested in a movie if there's no female characters in it. She might be one of the few, but chances are she's going to be more interested in it if there's somebody she can relate to rather than no one at all. Has anybody ever tried to make their girlfriend watch 300? I bet they're really not that interested in it unless they're super big Gerard Butler fans. Better yet, have your girlfriend maybe try and watch Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels. Any gangster movie, I guarantee you, a stereotypical girlfriend is not going to be that interested in. Why? Because it's a bunch of dudes shooting each other. They'd rather watch a rom-com or a superhero movie that features somebody that they can relate to. Enter Batgirl, enter She-Hulk, enter Black Widow, enter Wonder Woman, right? All these female-centric things, they're not taking anything away from what you have. They're adding to it. They're bringing more people in. They're keeping it alive. So to get mad about She-Hulk and to cry foul because you got Jane Foster also coming up, doing a fantastic storyline, and I can't wait to see what they're doing. We're getting a new trailer, or we've gotten one already by the time this video drops. It's going to be fantastic. So quit freaking out about She-Hulk. She's been around since the 70s. She's very fun, very comical. It's not the, you're going to make me angry, I'm going to beat up everybody. It's the, ooh, I'm big, tall, muscular, and green, and I'm way more attractive than I was when I wasn't big, tall, muscular, and green. So I'm going to use this to my advantage. That's the fun thing about She-Hulk, is that she doesn't lose her brain. She keeps her personality, and she gets more confidence because she realizes that she goes from like, I'm putting this in my terms, but a 6 to an 11 on the guy's scale, right? It makes her more attractive to more people. So she uses it to her advantage to gain the things she wants in the world. That's the fun part about She-Hulk, because it's like kind of like the Shazam movie, right? It's a power fantasy. If you were suddenly more attractive on a whim, wouldn't you stay that way? Wouldn't you use it all the time? And that's what She-Hulk does. She stays in her green form a lot more than Bruce Banner does when he's Hulk. Bruce Banner has no control. Jennifer Walter, She-Hulk, has all the control. So if you could stay big, tall, and green and sexy, wouldn't you? I would. So quit freaking out about She-Hulk. Enjoy the show, and we'll see you guys next time in the Funny Pages.